Hey guys, and welcome back to the Compound Channel. As you know, we're always here, and it's coming home, isn't it right, Charlie?
It is. It genuinely could do now. We're like,
On
what,
paper, it could be coming home.
24 hours afterwards. I've had time to process it, to
You've
rewatch
mulled on
parts
it.
of it where I was getting a beer. Yeah.
You've had it marinating in your head.
I've marinated on the performance and I'm happy with the performance. There's a lot of people that have been saying that this isn't the starting lineup that they would have done. And yes,
No,
in a,
but
in
it
a
worked.
in a wonderful world, you'd play attacking football all the time. But
Yeah,
as soon as we knew we were getting Germany, I sort of everyone I'd spoken to, I'd said like, we will go to a back five because we've played loads of games with a back five, like seven.
it's what he wants. He took that many defenders to
Yeah.
start with as well. It's what he wanted to go.
So I thought we'd go with a back five. We've got Walker to cover the pace of Werner, which I
Yeah,
think Walker played brilliantly
yep.
in the second half
He's the reason why Declan Rice didn't get the red at that point because
because he
when
was
they're
covering
running
him.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah, because Walker was already there to come in as well, and if Walker wasn't there, he didn't have the pace to get back in that. I think that could have been a red for Rice to start,
yeah. There were a
which would have
few
been a nice start.
few times where the ball was played through into Werner, and you just thought, if it was just Stones and Maguire and Walker wasn't there to cover, they would have been in on goal.
Does
Even more
Stones
so.
have the minerals? I've said it, want to say it again.
I think he does. I think he's looking really good, and he's looking
Yeah, no, I
really
was
good
joking.
alongside Maguire at the moment
Yeah.
because a lot of people have questioned Stones playing for England. Like for City, he plays really well, but for England at times he's been missing. He is
Do you see
overconfident
that?
on the ball.
Is that City though in general? Because across City's players, like apart from Walker, like people are saying about obviously Sterling, great in a City shirt and never been to. Oh, he scored every match now.
See, I think
And
this is the most stupid thing in the world. So they mentioned it last night. Sterling now has 15 goals in his last 20 England games. In his 20 England games before that, he'd scored
yeah,
two. But in his last 20 England games, he's scored 15 goals. He is the person that will get England to the final because he will pop up at the back post and put the ball in like he's done with the three goals that he scored in four games. Scotland game is completely different. That is because it was such a big deal, because it's
yeah.
England Scotland, that is like a cup final, anything can happen. England just did not want to lose that game because you'd never hear the end of it from the Scottish
Nightmare
fans.
situation. Yeah,
Exactly. So they knew because we won the first game, we can relax, we can take the point. Sterling, with what he has done up to this point, in my opinion, he's been our best player. He's got himself into
yeah.
the positions that he needed to be in. I think you look at Phillips. Phillips has been a standout player as well. People wouldn't have put him in their starting 11, but now him and Rice, as the two holding midfielders, are probably two of the first names on the team sheet. I think this next game against Ukraine on Saturday is going to be a really interesting decision that Gareth has as to whether he goes, okay, we're not playing Germany. They're not, with all respect to Ukraine, they're not one of the big boys. Do we
We're
go
not as
back?
defend. We don't, yeah,
Do we go back to a back four? You keep. I would say if we do that, we still play Carl Walker as the right back because then he's got the pace to get back and try and help and cover if he needs to.
yeah.
And does that then bring in the space for either Mount to come back in, Foden to come back in, or Grealish to start in behind Kane because Kane has still been poor and looked very isolated, especially in the first half yesterday. The ball was lumped up to him at times, and he's looking around going, well, who can I play it to? I think second half, you had movement from Shaw and Trippier getting way further forward, but not just running forward and then standing pretty much offside, but getting
Yeah.
forward and making space for Saka to run into and then for Grealish as well, because Grealish was coming inside and leaving the space open for Luke Shaw, whereas in the first half, there wasn't that space to run into because you had too many people on the channels at once. They needed to narrow the play a bit more because you're not going to have Rice and Phillips pushing forward into that space with Kane. And in the second half, you saw that with Sterling getting in there and Grealish getting in there as well. And I think that the way that we matched them up and when, okay, you're going to play like that, we'll do the same thing. Second half, we were fantastic. First half, I didn't have too many complaints. You could tell it was a
First 15
knockout
minutes was
game.
terrible for us. It was the
Yeah,
first 15 minutes of match were awful, and then it slowly started building. We got a
they
bit of
got
momentum,
they
but
got a bit of confidence. I think momentum and confidence were the key because it's a big game. They haven't played in front of that many people for over a year. You've got that many people expecting you to win because I think there was an expectation. A lot of England fans will have said, "Oh, yeah, we're not going to win. It's Germany." But I think a lot of England, there would be a big chunk of those fans that went into that game, and myself included. Like I know we all joke about it and say, "Oh, yeah,
yeah,
we'll win 3-0, blah blah blah." But
just go back to the video of previously.
I didn't think we'd lose. Honestly, I didn't.
No.
I thought we would concede a goal. I'll say that. I thought we would concede a goal. I think Pickford's been really good.
I think we would have. If Muller hadn't Muller, who never really drags it slightly wide, I reckon that would have gone in from Muller and it'd been a 2-1 finish. But if you look, also again, people why they don't like Sterling. Sterling kind of caused that.
But you can't.
Anyone could have caused it. I'm not saying it's Sterling's fault. I'm saying that's what people can use that now as the argument. Well, he's still crap, but this is not. But
no,
I think it could have been like I said, 2-2. I said to go to penalties, which made you wince a bit. But I'm happy. 2-0, great.
Still not conceded. I think the Ukraine game, I'd arguably still play basically the same 11, maybe move to a back four, bring in Mount or Foden. I wouldn't go with this whole let's rest players and give players minutes. You don't need to.
You've got enough talent in that squad there. Yeah. You don't need to worry about resting players. You can rotate it. You can, I'll take off
but you need the momentum.
On the right. Like, if you take Saka off on the right, you bring Foden on. Foden gets knackered. You can then bring Sancho on. Think of that tier of player. You're rotating out. You're still putting an amazing player. And you're not going. You're not Ukraine. Nothing against Ukraine, but you've gone. A talisman striker, for example.
Yarmolenko.
He's knackered. Yeah, he's knackered. Who do we bring on? This guy plays in the 4th Italian league. You haven't got that disparity. You've still got a good level of quality you can bring in and put them over the pitch.
But what we need to do is we need to still start with basically the same starting 11 because that will show Ukraine that we're taking it seriously. We respect them as a challenge. They've got to this point in the competition. They must have done something right. And I think for the players, they'll be playing with confidence because of the Germany game, obviously, and it will allow them to continue doing that. And if Kane gets another goal in the first half of that game, he could end up getting a brace that game, gets a goal in the semi-final. He could still be looking at getting golden boot. And people have said he's had a terrible tournament, which to an extent he has. Yeah. But I'm just glad that we countered and tried to get that second goal because in the first half there were too many passes backwards. And I understand we're trying to keep the ball and get a bit of momentum, a bit of confidence in the players, but there was too many occurrences where we went backwards, whereas in the second half we looked to go forward even after we scored. My worry was that we'd sit back too much,
take one and then draw,
soak up the pressure and then end up conceding. And I think if we did concede, we'd have probably lost because heads would have dropped, the crowd would have turned, and we would have just capitulated and fallen apart.
That's the only thing for us. We're not at Wembley this Saturday. We're not at Wembley. We're in, is it Rome?
Yep.
Or is it Baku?
Rome.
We're playing in Rome. So they haven't got the 12th man, and the 12th man's been ridiculously strong for England. And you've seen these matches happening. The 12th man, anytime the ball gets touched by the other opposition, literally is just the roar from the stadium with boos. It must have a mental effect.
That being said, what's your prediction for Saturday?
I'm going to go with a 2-0 Ukraine. England has to keep the clean sheet. I reckon we've got potential to score twice. If not potentially more, depending on how we're firing, what the confidence levels are like. But we've had clean sheets all the way through. If Southgate starts the same squad as we did, the Saka on the right, that's been working. I like Phil Foden. I wish he did start, but this is working. Don't keep doubling down until it stops working, and then you change it. You don't just change it for the sake of changing it. Keep your clean sheets. Get always to the final clean sheets. You're gonna be fucking you'll be loving life.
Yeah.
What's your prediction?
I'm going to go with, I think we will concede because I just think it's got to happen sometime.
Yeah, but I'd rather be in the semis than...
Or quarter-final, this is.
Or the quarters, not the semis.
I think 3-1. I think we will get more. We'll get more goals. We'll try and be attacking. I think there will be an emphasis on being more open and attacking. That might mean we concede, but at that point, I think we'll already be 2-0 up.
It would be, you just don't want to turn to a 3-3 go to penalties situation, do you?
No, I don't want that.
Well, that's our predictions. Let us know what you think in the comments. Cheers for watching. Subscribe for more content. We're going to the whole Euros. We're going for this kind of stuff. Also, F1 of the weekends every week at the moment. Cheers for watching. See ya.
Bye.